Hello, and welcome back to Extraordinary Connection. My name's Robert Blanchard, and I'm the pastor at Lansing First, and I'm glad to have you with us today. Extraordinary Connection is a site of daily devotionals brought to you by clergy from across the Michigan Conference. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about God and construction work. You see, my wife and I moved to Lansing at the end of June so that I could begin my new appointment here on July 1st. As we were talking with some of the leadership team in preparation for the move, someone said, "Oh, is Pastor going to be able to get to the parsonage with the construction going on in front of the house?" Well, the good news was that, yes, even though the city was rebuilding our road, we would be able to get to the parsonage. The less good news is that for more than 2 months, our road has been closed off while it was being worked on. It's been a process of tearing down and building back up. The old road had to be torn away so that a new road could take its place. And there was no telling when the work was going to happen. Days and weeks would pass with no sign of progress, and then all of a sudden there would be all kinds of machines and equipment rumbling by. There was also no accounting for what time of day the work crews would show up. Some mornings their lights would come flashing through our bedroom windows at 5:30, startling us from our sleep. And then other days no one would show up until 5 or 6 in the evening. And then, when it seemed like the work was almost done, there was always just one more step that needed to be finished. Well, this past week, our road finally reopened, and I couldn't help but think of Paul's words to the Philippians in the opening of his letter to them. He says in verse 6, "I am confident of this, that the one who began a good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Christ." We are like that road in front of my house, and God is the construction worker who's bringing us more and more into the image which is intended for us. Just like with that road, God needs to begin the good work in us by first tearing some things down so that we can be built back up. We need to have the imperfections of our brokenness removed, things like pride or self-doubt, anger or hatred, envy or lust. The list goes on and on, but over time the sin of the world wears down the image of God that is inherent in us. So God takes the time to heal us of those imperfections in order to build us back up. Then, just like with the work in front of my house, there's no accounting for the movement of the Spirit. Sometimes we can go for days or weeks and feel like we're stuck, when all of a sudden the movement comes in and starts rumbling through our souls. Sometimes it might startle us out of our sleep as we feel a sudden conviction or inspiration. Other times the Spirit decides to swing on by while we're at the dinner table. And then, frustratingly, every time that we start to feel like we're getting near to perfection, every time that it feels like we're making good progress on our sanctification, the Spirit pops in just to remind us that there's more work to do. And that's the case for this road, too. It looks as perfect right now as any road can. The lines are fresh and crisp. The blacktop is smooth and without blemish. But that road, and our souls, still exist in an imperfect world. And over time, the world will take its toll. The road will need to be redone again sometime in the future, as new potholes start to form and new cracks emerge. And our souls will be in constant need of refreshment by the Spirit as the forces of sin and death try to lure us away from the image of God in which we are created. But at the end of the day, when Christ returns in glory, we can rest confident in the knowledge that God will indeed complete the work that has begun in us. Amen.